welcome inside TD Bank North Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, where tonight Villanova's quest to go back to the Final Four for the first time in 24 years is just 40 minutes away. Pittsburgh, the #1 seed in the East region with a record of 31-4, take on the 3 seed, the Villanova Wildcats, coming in with a record of 29-7.
For the Villanova seniors, a trip back to the big stage had been a long time in coming. Each of these determined eyes had been wider and younger as freshmen in 2006, when the top-seeded Wildcats met Florida in the regional final in Minneapolis, one step from the Final Four.
The Florida Gators are going to the Final Four. The road ends here for Villanova.
Only one team wins the last game. They weren't fortunate enough to get to the Final Four.
But in 3 years' time, this group found something more. A heart. A soul. And the attitude of a champion.
Reynolds down the lane, goes up at the buzzer. It's good. Scotty Reynolds hits it, and the Cats are going to Motown as Villanova has done it. Cats win. Cats win. Cats win. You gotta love it.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This journey of 5 months began with a single moment in time. Hoops Mania, a basketball party at the Pavilion with Nova Nation as the guests of honor. The night-long basketball show gets everyone prepared for takeoff. On an entertaining flight, destination to be determined. The flight plan is crafted in October in a much quieter setting, when coaching principles are established, reinforced, and repeated.
All right, we work every day on jumping to the ball. Both of you got beat on them because you didn't jump to the ball. Jump to the ball! Jump to the ball!
Great work on the defensive end.
Fisher takes it away.
If you dribble right there, you don't even have to come behind. Go right here, shot. If he steps up, extra pass there, shot, make a play.
Cat's going to work offensively. Wide open 3, drills it, Scotty Reynolds.
So you're going to come off hard the ball screen. You're going to get in here. You're thinking score the whole time. We're going to throw back for a shot. You guys are sprinting out to the corner. You're going to get a shot over there.
Fisher dribble penetration down the lane, kicks, Reggie ready, wide open 3, drills it from the right wing.
Anytime that ball gets reversed, make a play. Anytime we can get the ball into the middle to Dante or a cutter, anytime the zone is vulnerable. Here we go. When you get to a game level like this, you gotta be able to dunk the ball.
For Dante Cunningham and his fellow big man, the early season provided plenty of opportunity to flex their inside muscle.
Just be aggressive, make decisive plays. Don't worry about making mistakes.
Coach is basically saying, as a team, we have to be aggressive because we have so many scorers. So it's just not like one person's contained and doing one thing. I'm on a team. There's more than the team, there's more than just me, stepping out there and playing. So I just want to, show my best support, helping guys, do the little things and, just bringing every day in practice.
Beginning the year in the starting lineup, Peña's emotional play produced 9 points and almost 6 rebounds per game in the Cats' 8-0 start.
Me and Dante, we have the body to bang with those guys. They may be a little taller, but we still have the heart enough to, go out there and play harder.
That mentality of playing harder was something the coaching staff preached right from the season's first moments.
We're not the kind of team that's going to come out and just jump on you and press and create turnovers and hit threes. We're not that kind of team anymore. We got to grind, get a stop, get to the foul line. That's a better team. That's a team that's got a chance for more success. You understand that?
These guys looked up to the guys on the 06 team. They wanted to be the same kind of team, but we just had to play a little differently because our talent level was different. Not better, not worse, just different. And I think our guys looked at success as playing just like the 06 team, running up and down, firing threes. That's what those guys did well. I think these guys really learned this year, Dante, Dwayne, especially Shane, that they could grind it out. They could pound with the big boys. They could be a physical team. And even by the end of the season, we'd be preparing for teams. And I would say to the staff, man, these guys are really physical. And the staff would look at me and say, Coach, we're physical.
And that physical play carried the Cats through the season's opening weeks, including a sweep of the Philadelphia Big Five. An emotional battle with St. Joseph's saw the Cats come from 6 points down in the closing minutes, helped by back-to-back buckets from junior Reggie Reddick. A defensive stop put the game away. Business as usual in city series play, especially sweet if you grew up in the city of brotherly love.
It means a lot to players that come from Philadelphia, because when you come here from another city, you don't really know what the Big Five is, and most of our friends from back home that play ball, that stay in the city, we all know each other. We're cool.
I know all of them, and going back home and seeing them and talking about how we beat them is always fun to talk about.
Reynolds ahead of the pack, layup good.
A 20-1 first-half run and a game-high 18 from Corey Stokes key to 70-59 win at LaSalle. Against Temple, the night belonged to sophomore Corey Fisher. His career-high 23 points extended the Cats' dominance.
Stay right now 25-7 in Big Five games. And for the third time in the last 4 years, Villanova's going to go a perfect 4-0 in Big Five play. And they are going to win a Big Five title.
The Villanova seniors finished their Big Five careers with a 15-1 record, a tribute to those who shared the spotlight, and at least one who didn't.
Frank is an amazing kid, and he has bought into Villanova basketball and what it is to be a Villanova forward. And he doesn't play a lot, but he just loves to be around the guys. He loves to be involved with the program. He loves to do the community service. He has become one of the faces of Villanova basketball.
My role was to make sure the guys below me, Dante, and Dwayne, Shane, was to make sure that they understood what it takes to play Villanova basketball, like to understand that we have a goal, like to be the best team we can be by the end of the year. So playing or not playing some nights wasn't the issue. The issue was making sure we understand, that we're here to play Villanova basketball every night, and we did it every night.
Frank Tweezy's commitment to mentoring his younger teammates was matched by his calming and entertaining presence around his fellow seniors.
He's just a lovable guy. Whatever you need, he's there. He's my roommate on the road, and sometimes we just talk. He speaks 102, I think, languages.
Okay, 6 languages, including French. Today's lesson, saying play together.
Like in English, use your ensemble.
Ensemble.
Exactly. See? That's not the first time. Jouer ensemble.
Jouer ensemble.
Take your time, though. Right. Jouer ensemble.
Jouer ensemble.
Okay.
Jouer ensemble.
Jouer. You're doing well. It's just that you gotta take your time. It's not like.
Say it again one time. Watch.
Jouer. Jouer. Repeat.
Jouer.
Ensemble. Bleu.
Bleu.
Okay. Now say it in one word.
Je ensemble bleu.
Yo, he's good. No, he's good.
One of many lessons imparted by a young man whose birthplace was Cameroon, but whose heart lives at Villanova. Playing Villanova basketball propelled the Cats to a 12-1 record and a number 15 national ranking by the end of December. With a treacherous Big East schedule waiting in January, there was only one attitude to take for the road that lay ahead.
We got to keep grinding, guys. We got to keep grinding.
The new year ushered the Villanova Wildcats into the conference season, a daunting task in a record-setting year for the Big East. During 1 week in January, 9 Big East teams occupied the top 25, including Marquette. In the conference opener in Milwaukee, the Cats dominated in the paint and forced 19 turnovers, but it wasn't enough in a 7-point Golden Eagles win, setting up an early test in Newark, New Jersey against unranked Seton Hall.
When you're in the middle of the season, you never know which games are going to be the ones that are going to affect the season. And that game at Seton Hall could have sent us on a tailspin that, in the same way that Georgetown and Notre Dame experienced it. That would have been 3 losses in a row, a game you almost had, should have had, the guts of the team there, and the intelligence of the team to understand after that game when some people were saying, well, you should have beat them by more. The team understood, this is the Big East. You're on the road. That was a hell of a victory.
When you do the right thing and you have that consistency, you don't lose back-to-back games. You know, I don't think the whole season we lost a back-to-back game, and that's just a product of what we believed in and what we wanted to establish, you know, in the season.
They gained a confidence in themselves defensively in that game, and I think that's when the seniors kind of took control of the team in that game, and they built it from there.
But it wasn't just the seniors. Just call Scotty Reynolds a senior in training.
Dwayne and Dante were my first roommates, and they kind of showed me the ropes. They kind of showed me how to be a Villanova basketball player. We all had a common goal, and I wanted it more for them than I wanted it for myself, because I know how much they put into this program. So I knew it was very important for me to put all I had into them, not for me, but for them to have a great senior year.
That meant playing his role, making his teammates better, and when necessary, lighting it up. In the 89-85 overtime win at Seton Hall, Reynolds poured in a career-high tying 40 points. Later in the Big East season, he would average nearly 19 points per game over an 11-game stretch. Against number 23 Louisville at home, Reynolds again reached double figures, and the Cats fought back from an 8-point halftime deficit in front of a raucous Philadelphia crowd. But Louisville, just beginning to hit its stride for the season, took the lead late, setting up a frenetic and excruciating final play.
They lob it. Cunningham has it. Cunningham missed it. The tip one and go. Louisville survives.
So despite their 13-3 record, Villanova was just 1-2 in Big East play. A convincing win over St. John's at home set up a showdown at number 3 Connecticut. Facing their third-ranked opponent in 5 games, the Cats scored 48 first-half points and never backed down. But foul trouble sent Dante Cunningham to the bench, along with UConn's Hashim Thabit, who played a amazed spectator to a 19-5 UConn run, led by Jerome Dyson, and a career-high 29 from A.J. Price. The 89-83 loss dropped the Cats to 2-3 in the Big East and spurred a season-changing intervention in Florida.
We lost a couple games at the time, and everybody's heads was other places, and guys weren't about themselves. We was getting ready to play South Florida the next day, but we had a team meeting.
It was all Frank Twishy out there. He came to me, Dante, and Dwayne and just said, we need to get these guys together. We need to, if we're going to do something special this year, we got to talk to them now.
We all wanted to do something special, but we were not on the same page.
We all kind of met in my hotel room, and we just all kind of sat there, and everybody just got everything off their chest.
Just get out whatever you got to say about anything you don't like, anything you don't want to go on anymore, just what's holding you back from us being a good team. and everyone just spilled their guts out.
Some guys that don't really talk and don't really express themselves the way they want to, and that meeting they did.
It was just great to have that like bonding as brothers.
We sat there, looked one another in the eye and said, you know what, if we're gonna be a special team this year, we need to take responsibility. Stop blaming everyone else, stop listening to everyone on the outside, and be a man and step up and just say, I need to get better.
You felt it. You wanted to go play right then and there.
That definitely changed the season for us.
After a win at South Florida, the impact of the team meeting was evident. And in the final college basketball game at the Philadelphia Spectrum against number 3 Pitt, Nova Nation got its first look at the attitude that allowed this team to soar. An early 10-point deficit was erased by the team's single-minded focus.
The players were so committed to playing a game against Pitt, a great team. And that was it. It was again, another example of their maturity, of their experience level.
And in the 20th game of the season, the Wildcats found something else: their defensive identity.
I think that game proved to a lot of our players that they had the ability to defend at the highest level. Players have pride, and if they feel that they could be embarrassed, then it's amazing what they will do. I think all of our guys respected Pitt, knew if we don't defend tonight, we could really get embarrassed here, and felt the crowd and their teammates feeding off their defense rather than their offense. All those little things that night kind of clicked, and it was something I think they all could look back on during the year and say, hey, I did this against Pitt. We did this against Pitt. And it really gave them the confidence to be the kind of team they could be defensively.
For now, it would be the high point of the season, a signature win, and a foreshadowing of bigger things to come.
Reynolds dribble penetration, fade away, 12-foot jumper is good for Scotty Reynolds. And that's it, the Cats have done it and knock off number 3 Pittsburgh.
That was a hell of a basketball game. That was a great win against an outstanding team that, again, put us in a situation where we believed we could beat anybody.
It was also a coming-out party for junior Reggie Redding. For this team, Redding was the Swiss Army knife.
I know Reggie has done a great job. He got himself in the starting lineup and brought us something unique to the basketball team. And when he was on the floor, he had that kind of versatility that you need in a player.
Reggie is as intelligent as anybody that we've ever coached, and Reggie can figure out during a game where exactly am I needed? Am I needed to score? Am I needed to rebound?
On the defensive side of the floor, Redding became the lockdown defender of the opponent's leading scorer, a role which surprised everyone.
I'm like, me? No way. I just trying to play hard, and then once people start saying that, and I seen this team needed somebody to step up and be that guy, I decided to do it, and I started embracing it and took pride in it and took it as a challenge and trying to stop whoever I had to guard.
In the win at Seton Hall, the Pirates' Jeremy Hazel was unstoppable in the first half, with 5 threes and 19 points. That all changed when Redding stepped in at halftime with a determined request.
I grabbed Coach going into the locker room. Hazel was going off, and I said, Coach, put me on him. I could lock him up. I promise you I'll lock him up. And he trusted me, and at halftime, he put me on him, and it was a challenge, and we stepped up to it, and we shut him down.
He's got a great feel for the game, and it's something the great ones have. And he's only going to get better, and he's going to have the ability to do everything out there on the court.
Redding and his teammates were now at their best, shredding Syracuse at the Wachovia Center in early February. It was the first of back-to-back 100-point games, with 5 players in double figures. And as good as it was, there was still more work to be done.
Hey fellas, this senior class, the leadership in this team is special, and they've got to get a lot better, and then they've got to make everybody else better. I would have said to you the same thing, Phil. We got to keep getting better.
In the Big East, winning is tough. Winning on the road sets teams apart. In mid-February, the Wildcats packed all the tools, toughness, and attitude they would need to survive in hostile environments away from home.
Ready, back to Anderson. Anderson throws down the flush in transition.
Just 2 weeks after the Wildcats' offense outgunned Syracuse and Philadelphia, it was the defense that set the pace at the Carrier Dome. 9 steals, 6 by Reggie Redding, and 15 total Syracuse turnovers led to 21 Nova points.
That's one of the things, Sean, I think that really helps Villanova when they get to tournament play, is that they've been in close games and in pressure situations. That's where they play.
7.9 seconds to go. Deepdorf in the right corner. Raises up. His 3 is blocked. Harris gets it. 4 seconds to go. Harris fade away 3. No good. 2 seconds to go. Flynn gets it shot off at the buzzer. It's no good. And the Cats have won it. And they've swept the Orange.
In the final road game at Notre Dame, the number 11 Wildcats ran away in the second half. With Scotty Reynolds finding his range.
And Reynolds has another 3.
Well, the old-fashioned pivot foot drill. Did that come in handy in both spots? Fundamentally sound.
2 combined runs of 26-3 gave Villanova their 6th Big East win away from home, where the team was building an attitude all their own.
I think that we take pride in going on the road and going to somebody else's house and being closer together and coming out with the win. Doesn't matter how you get it done, just get it done.
But as the saying goes, home is where the heart is. And it was at the Pavilion that the fans and school would celebrate the record-breaking careers of this senior class, including one whose career seemed to fly right by.
Hi, sweetie. Can you believe he's a senior?
I can't believe it.
Can you believe this?
Shane Clark learned a lot growing up in Philadelphia, including the art of leading by example.
Just be a ball player. Go out there, rebound, play defense, dive on the floor. Show that, Corey Fisher, Corey Stokes, the younger guys what Villanova basketball about. And that's what I did. I went out there every game with, of course, Dante, Scotty, Reggie, and Dwayne, just try to set the tone for the younger guys.
I think he probably represents this team the best in that he had the attitude, whatever you need me to do. The basketball world will tell a guy like that, hey, you've been through so much, it's time to get yours. He didn't listen to that. He said, you know what, I'm a part of something special. I'm going to give them whatever I can and make this a great year.
The game has always come easily to Clark. But a leader must also communicate. For a young man who's quiet by nature, that skill took time to develop.
He's always been sort of a quiet person. You have to actually talk to him for him to talk to you.
Yeah, I was always laid back, just watch the scenes and watch everything go on. For me to be a better basketball player and, a better person, I obviously had to talk to people and, just speak with a firm voice and be proud of what I'm doing.
Shane Clark is as responsible for the success of this team and this program as any one individual that we can mention, because he was an example every day to every other senior, to every junior, sophomore, and freshman, and anybody that comes behind him. Within this program, he'll be a legend, and every player will hear about him, probably more than they hear about him on the outside, but in this program, they'll always know about what Shane Clark did during his career for Villanova basketball.
And for the pride and love of the family that helped shape him.
I'm excited for this moment, just to see him graduate, get his degree. He stayed here the 4 years. He toughed it out, did what he needed to do.
Diploma, Final Four. There's nothing better than that. And coming back probably 10, 15 years, coming back here, just looking at, the banner saying 09 Final Four. It's just gonna be an awesome feeling.
I don't want to lose him. I'm selfish.
Senior night was a chance for these young men to shine and continued dominance on their home floor. The Cats were a perfect 13-0 at the Pavilion for the season and ended the year with a 28-game win streak at home. The final victory against Providence was both poignant and purposeful.
Cats trying to come up with a steal. Scramble for it. Fisher controls. Cats have a 2-on-1. Fisher finds Reynolds. Reynolds goes up. Two-footer rattles around and drops in.
The 97-80 win wrapped up a double bye as one of the top 4 seeds in the upcoming Big East tournament. And it was also the final goodbye to the winningest seniors in Villanova history.
A tremendous regular season is in the books.
For the Villanova Wildcats, the Big East tournament began at Madison Square Garden on March 12th, and the game against Marquette offered more than a hint of where this road was headed.
Everything that happened might not have been if not for that Marquette game.
It started as all Villanova. But even with the defense holding the Golden Eagles to 21% shooting, and with 18 first-half points from Scotty Reynolds, the Wildcats felt the building pressure of needing this win.
At halftime of the Marquette game, our guys kind of had a feeling that there was a lot at stake here, and we played the second half to kind of get through it. Not in a lazy way, just in a kind of the intense way that it meant so much to them. And to almost have it all shattered and then come back and make the play that Reggie made and Dante made defensively and Dwayne made to finish it. Even Shane Clark made a play of getting the ball back to Reggie that was incredible.
Chance to win it here for the Wildcats.
Reggie's got to be careful. He pushed off once.
After face guarding Reynolds, Dwayne Anderson, and Villanova wins.
A stunning finish for everyone.
I was definitely surprised. Everyone said, why you dunked that? It's because I felt as if, one, I wasn't expecting the ball. I was going for offensive rebound. And two, I was under the rim. So I got it, put it up, and I was kind of nervous. I felt as if it was going to roll out, but luckily it went down for me. It was probably the longest seconds of my life. But it was all worth it.
Despite a loss the next night to Louisville, it was New York mission accomplished.
I think that Marquette game solidified a number 3 seed, which in turn solidified the opportunity to play in Philadelphia.
The news came on Selection Sunday, and the celebration was fueled by being viewed as one of the 12 best teams in the NCAA tournament, and by the schedule, which dropped the Wildcats right into their own backyard. Villanova's NCAA tournament road began in Philadelphia, where the Wildcats were 19-2 on the season, in the familiar surroundings of the Wachovia Center. That meant comfort.
There was a great comfort level going into the game, but once you get into the game against American and you're down in the second half, there's more pressure on you because you realize that we've got everything going our way here, and we're not taking advantage of it.
And he gets another two. A 14-point American lead.
You had to have a great attitude. You got to out-grind them, outwork them for the whole 40 minutes. It wasn't 20 minutes.
Seniors Dwayne Anderson and Dante Cunningham stepped up to save the Wildcats. Not for the first or the last time. And it set up the first of back-to-back matchups with college basketball royalty.
You could feel that the crowd was thrilled about having UCLA in Philadelphia. It was kind of like when the Eagles had the Cowboys in town. It was something that that made you think something special was going to happen that day.
Special was the knockout punch the Cats threw early.
Hometown crowd on its feet. Villanova 26, UCLA 11.
And Nova was led by a sophomore who looked at times like he was toying with the opposition.
I'm the only coach in the country who gets a guard from the Bronx that is totally unselfish and doesn't want to be aggressive. It doesn't want to be the star. Fisher Price, when you play in Rucker, you're Fisher Price. When you play in Villanova,
Fisher Nice?
Fisher Nice, that's good.
It wasn't so nice for the opposition to try and stop Fisher, who grew into a rock of a player as a sophomore.
Just being stronger, smarter, just in better shape, and just knowing the game, letting the game come to me. And when you do things like that,
Drop Fish.
all the hard work pays off.
Good, big time reps, Fish. So that's one, Fish. Good, just one set of 12. Just firing those hips.
Oh yeah, I started half of the season, you know what I mean, and came off the bench, so I wasn't really worried about starting or coming off the bench. Just going out there helping my teammates, and every day in practice, just my teammates, coaches tell me, like, every game, Fish, we need you to bring the energy, we need you to bring that off the bench, and that was just my job this year, just to get the team going. Playing in the playgrounds back home in New York, just watching older guys that I look up to playing and just be like, that was gonna be me one day. And when you get out there, you want to try things like that too, and it just comes naturally as you just play the game.
Fisher's fellow sophomore guard Corey Stokes is a natural-born shooter. But his willingness to fit in wherever he is needed sets him apart. The Wildcats' most accurate shooter from beyond the arc, Stokes has taken giant steps to refine and round out his game, whether as a starter or coming off the bench.
I do whatever I have to do to help the team out and whatever Coach Wright asks of me. So that's my job, to come off the bench and give the team energy, get rebounds, dive on the floor, and play good defense.
After 2 collegiate seasons, Corey Stokes has become a Villanova basketball player, eager to draw from the experience of those who've come before him, namely the Wildcat seniors.
Dante, Frank, Shane, and Dwayne, they're great. They taught me so much. They always got on me. Like, it just made me a better player, and I really thank them for that. Especially Frank Tweed, he's like my brother. He just told me not to get down about starting by your minutes. He said just go out there and play Villanova basketball.
Against UCLA, Stokes contributed 12 points as Villanova gave their guests a bitter taste of Big East basketball, outscoring them by 20. For the first time in 4 games, the Wildcats put 2 solid halves together, the embodiment of relentless pursuit.
And just laying out to knock that away from Darren Collison. Well, that's a big-time play by Dwayne Anderson.
Nova Nation enjoyed its greatest moment in Philadelphia since the Cats advanced to the Sweet 16 by beating Arizona in 2006. 3 days later, they were there again to give their team a grand send-off to Boston, where the Cats needed 2 more wins in the chase to the Final Four. In Boston, Massachusetts, the Wildcats took their next step onto a bigger stage beneath a brighter spotlight. Prepared and tested, their attitude defined poise. A newfound acceptance of where they stood, and an understanding of how to take the next step.
I felt a sense of confidence knowing our seniors had been here before. They had done this, and they had done it 3 years ago.
The difference between the run when I was a freshman and now is like, I was kind of just, there and tagging along like a little brother, following his big brothers, out to the basketball courts. But this year it was like, I'm the big brother. This is my team. These are my young brothers right here. We're going to take them. We're going to stay on this court. We're going to keep winning.
That meant beating another opponent whose four-letter name on the front of their uniforms defined college basketball dominance.
Because you grow up and you know about the Dukes and the UCLAs and North Carolinas, and that's all you hear about. And we felt like that we were just as talented as those teams, but no one ever talks about us like as they would talk about them. And we had that opportunity to go out there and show that we're a big-time program too. We respected everyone that we played against, but we didn't fear anyone.
No fear, no waiting, no contest.
A jumper, no good. Put back dunk, one-handed is good by Shane Clark.
The Cats put 3 players in double figures, while holding the Blue Devils to a season-worst 26% from the floor. The NCAA tournament's winningest coach never found an answer. And the first Villanova win over Duke in more than 50 years was a 77-54 runaway.
And folks, you know it now. There's no question. The Cats are going to the Elite Eight.
A 56-point margin in 3 wins, and a post-game locker room where the math was much simpler.
Elite Eight. Yeah.
4 plus 4 does equal 8. 22 plus 33, heart and soul. The path which brought Villanova knocking on the door of the Final Four began on the practice floor, in the weight room, and in Silver Spring, Maryland, childhood home to 2 best friends.
We were the same age almost, but he was just older, He's like the older brother that, I never really had. And, he used to look out for me, we do everything together. We play ball together, we go to school together, We live right down the street. So there'd be times where we'll play all day, all night in the basement, until his father come down and tell us to be quiet or go to bed.
He's always been that type of player to do all the little things to make his team win. I never seen someone like that before in my life. And I'm learning from him still to this day, just how to play on the court, hard, aggressive, just rebounding, all the dirty work, and I'm still trying to improve on that.
Each player has his own journey to fulfilling his potential. Dwayne Anderson just had a unique journey that it hit towards the end of his senior year that he became a beast. And it was the beast that we always saw in him, and we wanted to pull out of him and push him towards and fight with him to get there.
You gotta get that rebound. You gotta get that rebound.
He's definitely right. Basically saying, stop being a role player. You can be the star on this team.
So we all knew when Dwayne was a beast, our team was at its best.
So that's just something that I really focused on this year. It's trying to put it together on both ends of the floor. And tournament time is when the best came out for me.
During the NCAA tournament, he might have been our best player, and his teammates knew it. And we also knew a part of that was that they had so much respect for him that when he was playing at that level, it really inspired everybody else around him.
While Anderson found his inner beast, Dante Cunningham discovered his outer range, refining an automatic mid-range jump shot that transformed role player into MVP.
Lots of work with our managers. Lots of days when I didn't really feel like shooting it. Just all summer long, just dissecting it. We had that new camera system in there, so I can see my shot from all angles, see what I was doing wrong with it. Just continuously shooting.
And outworking everyone on the floor.
Dante has improved as much as any player we've ever had. And it's just pure, simple commitment, work ethic, unselfishness, all the great qualities of a leader, an outstanding player, obviously talented, but he truly became a warrior, just day in and day out, through pain, through fatigue. He is truly one of the greats, and I don't think any of us expected that in the beginning, but I don't think any of us doubt it now, and I don't think there's a guy that doesn't just respect the hell out of Dante Cunningham.
Including his boyhood friend, who was still walking right by his side into the biggest game of their lives. One hurdle remained. It had been cleared in stunning fashion just 2 short months before. Once again, the Pitt Panthers were favored. But these Wildcats had 3 years of attitude adjustment to lead them to rarefied air.
One of these teams is going to earn a trip to Detroit tonight for the first time in a long time.
If it was possible, this game was more intense than the first and more physical. It produced plays reserved for a time capsule. But one key player was noticeably absent.
At halftime of the Pitt game, Dwayne Anderson had 0 points. And again, we knew if Dwayne Anderson's not playing, we're going to be in trouble. And we said that to him at halftime. We said, Dwayne, let's go, man. It's your time. Let's go.
That's one of another ways of trying to motivate me. Dwayne Anderson, you're not doing anything. We need you to step up.
And he came out in the second half and started to take over the game offensively.
"17 second-half points on 5 of 6 shooting from the floor was the answer to his head coach's challenge.
Anderson hits a 3 in the left corner to give Villanova the 4-point lead. What a shot by Dwayne Anderson.
To come through in that situation as a senior on the biggest stage kind of showed everybody, we're for real, man. This is it. This is the year.
For the final 18 minutes of this epic game, no team led by more than 5 points. But a Jermaine Dixon jumper and turnover at the other end appeared to give Pitt control of the game. Until Dwayne Anderson took it back with the defensive play of the season.
Something that I admire about this team is that no matter the score or how many points we're down by, we always feel as if we can get it done. And we're down 4. I take it upon myself, I have to make a play.
Dixon now gets it across the timeline. Double team. It's stolen by Anderson. Anderson now down the lane, goes up. Shot is good and he's fouled. Oh my goodness, folks.
That was the magic moment for this team, that this team said, we're going to the Final Four.
Moments later, it was Anderson again.
Anderson, yes!
The lead grew to 4, but the Panthers refused to give in. And as the Cats tried to hang on with 10 seconds left, an opportunity almost turned into disaster.
Redding going in long, too long. Cunningham catches it, throws it into the corner. Dixon has it with 7 seconds. Pitt with the basketball and a foul.
I think it was Dixon from Pittsburgh got switched on to Dante, and I said, there's no way he can jump with Dante. And I was so excited when I saw that. I just put a little bit too much in it. It was a bad pass.
We used the word attitude. They were saying it to each other coming off the floor after the pass was stolen and Fields made the free throws. They were just saying attitude to each other. They never had a fear of the mistake that was made before, and that was the unique character of this team. That's what the type of teams that do special things, that have that unique attitude about them, and that's what this group had.
No timeouts left. Fields for the tie with 5.5 remaining.
Once he made the free throw, there was a kind of a sense of calm, because we knew what we were going to do.
We got plenty of room, at least 4 seconds to get it up the floor.
That's Coach Wright's play. And we've did the same thing all year. For my 4 years, we ran the same play.
We just let our instincts take over.
Redding lobs it into Cunningham, who gives it to Reynolds. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Reynolds drives, shot, he got it! He got it! Villanova wins, and Villanova is going to the Final Four.
I couldn't get it to Scotty, and I couldn't get it to anyone else, so
I seen him turn and like kind of hesitated up, and I was like, Reg, and he screamed his name.
I went to Dante again. I said, if I throw it up to him this time, I know he'll go get it.
And then Scotty was already in his full stride, and I was like, all I gotta do is get it to him, and it's over.
Scotty did a smart thing, and he went all the way to the basket.
Going back to my freshman year, like, I used to just be 100 miles per hour. Like, I just run until I hit something. So when I'm running, you know, just as fast as I can. And I knew I had 2 steps on the guys behind me. And everybody was like, oh, how did you see Blair? I didn't see him. I just saw that rim, and I knew I had to make a play. Whether it was for me, for my teammate, I had to make an aggressive play. I really didn't see the ball go through the hoop. All I saw was everybody running that way. So I'm like, yo, I gotta run that way too.
I just try to chase Scotty down and grab him and tell him I love him. But I see why people, it's a hard time to chase him and catch him from behind in games.
The first person I grabbed was Scotty, and I just said, thank you, thank you. And I think that's all I said. I just said, thank you, thank you. And he just hugged me back.
Shane over, thank you. Reggie's like, yo, you're the best.
You know, my whole life I wasn't able to cut down net, and him just making that shot and making it possible, a dream come true for me, it was awesome.
And for the first time since 1985, Villanova is in the Final Four.
It was one of those moments you can't prepare for, you know. So I remember seeing Jimmy V looking to go hug somebody, there's nobody to hug. You never think about what you're going to do.
No one was ready for the roller coaster of pure emotion.
And it wasn't because I hit the shot. That's not what happened. It was Dwayne Anderson down on the floor. It was Frankie blocking, rebounding before the Duke game. It was all those things that made up those feelings and that joy.
He just sobbed. He just, I could feel him shaking in my arms, just sobbing. And that was a special moment.
It was for everybody that came before us to put us in that position.
Everyone had their own way of celebrating.
Cutting down the nets. I probably went the fastest because those ladders kind of scared me a little bit. So I was up there quick, cut down, I'm done. But Frank Tweedy stayed up there forever, and for him to be last just shows how much work he put in.
Coach Wright, you know, telling me he wants me to be the last person to cut down the net, it meant a lot. I would never thank him enough for it.
It was a joy of celebration that was shared with family and friends, your greatest supporters, and sometimes your toughest critics. Everyone wanted to know how it all happened.
It's something that we do every day in practice. At the end, there's end of the game situations. They face guarded me And when that happens, Dante makes a flash to the middle of the floor, and I make a second cut away from him, going towards the basket. And we have a stagger going on the opposite opposite side.
You can coach with me when you're done playing. You got the job. You don't have to interview. That's.
Oh my goodness. Well, I just made a layup, and
You did it. You earned it. And you feel great about this. And you know how much we respect you. This coaching staff has tremendous respect for this group of guys right here. 1, 2, 3.
There's more fans back at the hotel than it seemed as if it was at the game. And they were just very energetic throughout the whole night. And it was just unbelievable. Just the smiles on someone's face. I remember with this one lady that she came up to me and she said, "Thank you for making this experience so great for me." And she had this big Villanova hat on. She said, "This is the same hat I wore in '85." And she said, "You probably couldn't tell right now, but I'm fighting through cancer. But this run that you're doing, it makes it seem as if I don't have cancer."
Detroit, the Motor City. The final stop on a magical ride, one way or another. Villanova had reached the summit of college basketball, where everything, even the emotion, was bigger.
It was a thrill of a lifetime. It's something that all of us will always remember, without even experiencing the game itself. I think we all learned there's so much more that goes on with being in the Final Four than just the game.
Even the simplest move is magnified. Illuminated.
Motor Nation, welcome to NCAA Final Four.
Awesome. That was
Thank you very much.
And Villanova seized the opportunity to put its best foot forward.
It was great for our university to be mentioned for a week as the top sports story, and really for our players to be shown on a national spotlight, because our players represent our student body. That's the great thing about Villanova. I think in our players you can see what's special about the spirit at Villanova.
You get a phone call like, "How is it? I've never been to Final Four," but you want to tell them the good things, but they don't know everything that comes under that. Like, we out here for a job, and we just went out there. We had fun, but when we got on the court, we was just business-like.
To play in front of all those people, I mean, you get kind of nervous, but when the game starts, you just gotta let it all out.
To compete in front of 70,000 on that stage, and you're firing all your cylinders, just trying to get to the ultimate goal. It was something as a competitor you'll always remember, and it also kind of gives you a hunger to get back. It also gives you the experience that if you get back, you know what you can do better. But for these players, when they watch Final Fours the rest of their life, there's only a few people in this world that knows what that feels like to play there, and they're going to have that feeling the rest of their life.
When you're working out in the summer, you putting in that work, nobody's in the gym. Shots, drills, sweat, tears, all that hard work you put in from when you was, 4th grade, shoveling snow, no shirt on, getting the cold, everything. All that comes into play, all at that one time.
He changes with the team, with the style of the team. In the beginning of the year, pushing us, and then at the end, just giving it all to the seniors and letting us do it.
Once a captain does something, the younger players are going to follow, and That's what Coach Wright talks about all the time.
It just seems like every game, that's what we strive for, to try to get that same feeling, to be able to look each other in the eye and say, if we came together and we brought it tonight, fellas, let's do it tonight.
Like, wow, that's a lot of wins. You know, we did our thing. The unity that we had is amazing.
Since freshman year, we always talk about what if we make it to the Final Four, and just having that dream come true. It was a great experience. You know, I did it with a great group of guys, and I'm going to cherish that moment forever.
That's the greatest legacy we had. You know, we came in, we had a goal. We said we're going to be the best team we can be by the end of our college career. Is this what we're gonna live with? Yes, I take it I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Me, Shane, Dante, and Frank, this is the way we're going out. It's just unbelievable to be a part of something like that.
Redding trying to trigger, doesn't have a timeout, lobs it into Cunningham, who gives it to Reynolds. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, Reynolds drives, shot, got it! He got it! Villanova wins! Villanova wins! And Villanova is going to